win this race, barring any mechanical failure or that if he goes off. But don't leave anything away from Nadira Jenisen, who's lying second, Shamil Ilyas, Harsha, Rohit Rajapaksa, Ushan Silva, Irfan Fuad, Sharan Fernando. He's back after long laps. Emdad Hussain, the Emdad of racing. Mohan Pereira, a lot of experience. He's been racing in Australia. Shashikal Akmal, former driver who's won the championship in the Mini 7 series. So he's ready. That's the roundabout that we're talking about. The Galadari roundabout.
You can see Nadira Jinasena has come up to third place. Damit Aberatna is now lying fourth.
Yes, Damit Veerasinghe, the youngster. The green flag being formed, that means they're just past overtaken, so everything is safe. Well, Sajjad Suhair is trying on the right side of Dilan Seniorratna. Dilan is not having anything on that. He shuts the door. That's the racing line. Takes the U-turn, back again to the golf face complex. Come down hard. Second gear, maybe somewhere there they change up into third gear. And conditions are atrocious. Treacherous conditions here at the Colombo night race. A lot of water on the track, but here again, this is where skill matters a lot. Horsepower alone will not get you there.
This is also a very important race for Dilan Seniorratna, as he has said that he will be leaving the 1600 class and focus more on SLGT and possibly looking at races abroad like that. So this actually is his last race in 1600. So he was saying he definitely wanted to go out on a high with him and Sajjad.
Well, I do have the option of talking to Dilan, but once a racing driver is always a racing driver. Yes, yes. Sajjad Suhair tries the inside. He's almost touched the sides of Dilan Seniorratna. Well, this is going to get interesting. Now we are lying third. Nadira is going to do is, just slide third, and he's, I think, driving the car owned and raced by Dinesh Jawadal. That's the mobile one-stickered Honda of Dinesh Jawadal in the hands of Nadira Jenisen. Now Nadira, string of successes behind his belt. In fact, he's featured in the Motor Mag this month. You can see the successor that he's had. I had the opportunity of being with him even in India, where he did very well driving those Formula 1300s when he went down to India. And I can tell you, Nadira, a very good driver. Now he's lying third. He's going to watch what's going to take place in front. Anything can happen, especially when there's a challenge for first place.
Correct. You can see the two teammates battling it out. So now I guess the question would be, will there be any sort of team orders?
This is not F1 racing. There are no team orders. F1 racing, they go for the championship and maybe the constructors championship, but nothing of that sort, I think, where the racing of this is concerned. That's, I think, Rohit Rajapaksa. We saw him, had a bit of a misfire yesterday at the Galadari roundabout. I saw it. In fact, I witnessed it. He lost the rear end, climbed the sandbags. Nevertheless, he came back. But I think the US car sales car in the hands of Rohit Rajapaksa.
So the placings still haven't changed. We still have Dilan Seniorratna in ahead of Sajjad Suhair, followed by Nadira Jinasena.
Like we said earlier, Dilan's car has got the green mirrors and Sajjad's car has got the red mirrors. So that's only color that you, at least the distinguished mark that you can distinguish these two cars, both under Easy Racing colors, drive with the Easy Racing team.
And we have Damit Veerasinghe in fourth as well. As you were saying, Damit Veerasinghe was saying he had gone to formal training.
Yes, formal training.
In Australia.
Yes, this time I think he was selected to go because he's under 23 years of age. The invitation was forwarded to Sri Lanka, and he was lucky enough to get into that slot. And he had just undergone training in Australia. But nevertheless, even before that, we saw him race in some of the gravel meets. He was up there, at podium level in any race that he took part.
Yes, I believe also he was telling me they have secured a place for him in the BMW Formula class. So
yes, well, let's hope he does well. Well, that's very, very competitive, and even in the Asian circuit, it's very competitive. Well, that's a promotional zone that you get into, and maybe let's hope that he gets further up in the racing scene. Well, let's get back to what's happening now. Dilan Seniorratna. Sajjad Suhair, breathing. He's virtually breathing the exhaust fumes of Dilan Seniorratna as to go. Takes the right-hander. Once again, our cameras with Rohit Rajapaksa. Back again to the leaders. Some beautiful shots. Courtesy CSN. Some great camera work. Our cameramen are working, under terrible conditions. You can imagine, golf face is cold, murky, it's wet, and under lights, not easy, especially for the drivers who are driving. And if you're following someone, sometimes going into a corner with a spray, you might not notice where to your braking point and everything is. Fortunately, these cars are regulation that you carry a 21 watt red bulb, nothing below that, and you have to have your tail lights on so that the driver in front of you, when he brakes, that you see where the brake lights come on. You cannot drive without the brake light. That's a very regulation that is strictly followed, especially under these conditions, even in travel.
So going back to what you were saying regarding about this event and what is allowed and not allowed, this event is more restrictive in specifications.
That's I just mentioned. SLH. SLS means modifications of virtually unlimited forms are allowed other than the CC and the weight. But with SLH, a lot of regulations that come in, your brakes, your cams, your CC, your fiberglass not being allowed, perspex are not being allowed or whatever, other than the racing perspex. A lot of regulations into the SLH class. But I think some of the viewers think that this is a Honda 1 make series. This is not a Honda 1 make series. It's SLH 1600. You can drive any particular vehicle that comes under this category. What happens is the Honda is the most suited, and that's why you see most of the this class the Hondas are dominating it. But we had a couple of Mitsubishis that the Mirage 1600 that tried competing in this class, but it was no match for these Hondas.
I believe globally also there is a lot more modifications and spare parts availability, and even locally in terms of say tuning, ECU tuning, we have a few
Yes.
good tuners
In
such
fact,
as
yes.
Zaki Ismail of Tune Egypt, which I believe he has probably done quite a few cars
Yes, yes.
on this grid.
Definitely, yes. We have a lot of tuners that are in the fray now, and in fact, most of these cars, they have their own competitions between the tuners. And
Yes,
I mean
yes.
that's healthy for racing.
So time to come, we may have
I mean,
a tuner.
yeah, Zaki Ismail, Sabri,
Correct.
and all of them are into Shah's Autoworks. You can find those stickers being carried by these competitors, because I think the tuners have been working overnight, not overnight, I mean weeks and weeks of preparation of these cars. Oh, that's
They
Imdad.
say Imdad Hussain and
yes.
Irfan Fuad.
Man from the Glass House, my friend, Ryan Glass. Collins is Imdad. He's M Daddy Racing, and some of his friends have named him M Daddy. That's why he carries the sticker in the car, M Daddy. He's Imdad Hussain. A good sportsman, a keen competitor.
The battle for the first three places is still very close.
Yes. Sajad is trying to.
And that is Shamil Elias
Yes.
on the sandbags.
Yeah.
He looks okay.
Yeah, he's just waving to the crowd. I think he wants someone to give him a push to get back on track. Maybe the marshals might just push him on and let him continue. You can see Dilan Senurat, you can see the hands working on the steering, And from the lovely shots, courtesy the CSN cameraman. You can see him pretty busy looking in the mirrors just to see, Obviously, he sees the lights of. He knows that his teammate is behind him. That's, I think, Elias. His race is done. He's going to spectate the balance of the laps. So Dilan Senurat, no way that Sajad can get passing. I can tell you, these two drivers are very good. I think credit to both of them.
And if you see the timing, they were just split seconds away from each other. This class is probably, one of the most competitive classes.
Yes, definitely.
And even the
The
machines.
most closely fought.
Correct. And even the machines that they have are almost, identical and equal, just with little bits of, enhancements here and there. Exactly. That's the word.
So I think what happens is this: it's a handling that will matter in our track like this. Speed alone won't matter. How you get your suspension set up, how you get your cambers, your negative cambers, your steering arms, and how you adjust them.
So just past the Hilton Bridge is where Shamil.
Oh, is that Imdad?
Imdad, yes, that is Imdad Hussain. Looks like he's had some front
That's
plate, damage.
You can
Would
see
have-
burly man. So his race is also done. This is what happens under wet conditions. One small mistake and you're in the barriers, and when you get to the barriers, no chance of coming back. Maybe a track at, say, maybe at Katkuru or something, you might lose a couple of 1/100th of a second, or maybe just half a second to come back, but not here on especially a street circuit like this. Like in Monaco F1. One
Correct.
small mistake, you're in the Amco.
There we have the yellow flag.
Yeah, and let's also explain something about the yellow flag. Yellow flag being stationary is being a little cautious. There may be a car stall in front.
Obstruction.
But, yes. But when the yellow flag is being waved, that's cautioning the driver that to not to reduce speed, but be cautious. Or maybe a competitor may be in your racing line, or maybe there's a car that has met with an accident. But when the yellow flag is being waved, you've got to be very, very cautious. Well, that's the no overtaking zone again. You can see that yellow flag waving. That's a stationary flag. They are fixed along with the lights to warn the competitors. That's a no overtaking zone, like what.
As you can see, the gap between Sajjad, Dilan and Nadira actually increasing from what they were. So,
But happens. But I know what happens is this. When you are behind someone, you can tend to late brake and get close to your competitor. I think they are coming up behind to lap some of the competitors. Well, let's hope those competitors in front are properly warned with that blue flag so that they can move away and let the leaders through. Yes.
as you can see, the first 4 cars are still very close to each other. So it is still open for
Some of the competitors being lapped. And that's Dilan Seneviratne and Sajjad Suhair in front. And so Nadira is not too far behind. He's also with the leaders. Those 3 cars are way out in front. And Namita Abeyaratne is lying 4th. Because just completed 7 laps, 3 more to go. You can see the time, and some of you at home, if you want to calculate, we can just divide those minutes and seconds by the laps, and then you just get rough approximate time of what lap times they are doing at present. But they are still doing, to mind you, about 160, 170, maybe 180 down the stretch. They are not slow. I mean, those cars that you're seeing now are doing about 180, maybe close to 200.
maybe. And there's SA Harsha.
Yes.
Talking about cars being lapped, Mahen, you have we've seen in the past where cars which are back markers actually cause upsets in the race result.
Yeah, I think it was last year or before last year they want to bring in a rule here that if you don't have 107% of the timing of the first 2 or 3 cars, that you're going to get knocked off during the practice times. 107%, and if you're down more than 107%, but they haven't. I don't think they brought in that rule this year because the track was lengthened to 3.3 kilometers and shortened again, but I don't think they brought in that rule. When there were more than, I think, 16 or 17 competitors, they were thinking of bringing the rule again of, if you do not have 107%, that you will not be allowed to run on race.
You can see Sajjad is still keeping the pressure on Dilan Seneviratne, and Dilan, cool as he's keeping it together.
Yeah, he is.
But I'm sure he's sweating in the
he
car.
is very wily man. He's not going to let Sajjad through in a hurry. So, the best of friends, but friendship doesn't matter when it comes to racing. As long as you're clean. Do it clean.
And you have Damit in 4th place.
Yes. Nadira, I think, still lying 3rd.
In 3rd, yes. It'll be interesting to see next year how Damit does, more experience coming.
I think maybe this might be Damit's first street race.
I believe so, yes. So, in about a year or 2, he would definitely be giving everyone else a good fight.
We saw him even at Pandal recently. He was driving pretty well.
I believe he's also looking at going into SLGT.
Yes, I heard so. I don't know. So,
After
but
a year
I
or
think
two
it's
experience.
important that you
Yes.
go from stage to stage. You just don't sit in a SLGT car and want to drive it straight off. I mean, it's absolutely suicidal.
But I believe Damit has done it the right way. He has come up from the lower
Yes,
classes.
from the 1000. Yes,
Yes.
we saw him first in Dayo Dushare. Yes, just get himself promoted from class to class. That's the way to go.
So for viewers who would be interested in getting into racing, what class would you advise them to come into?
The lowest class is SLN 1000.
1000, yes.
And maybe first start go-kart to begin with, and then maybe driver maybe with Formula 1300s. What we are going to see later on.
So karting definitely would be the best start.
Yes, the karting definitely. I mean, just to know what a racing line is, your acceleration, your braking. I think karting is important, especially when you are very, very young. And you need to start there. I mean, if you look at Daniel Ricciardo's profile, I mean, he started at the age of 8. At 16, he was into BMW formulas. So I mean, that's the way to go, because I think age also matters. When you start growing old, your reflexes drop.
We're on the penultimate lap and we still have Senaviratne and Sajat
Yes.
in first, second place. Part of
I'm
easy
sure
races.
that's the finishing order that we are going to see in the next half a lap. We are in the 9th lap. And some excellent camera work. You can see Dilan Senaviratne working on the steering. That's, I think, Rohit Rajapaksa, number 44.
මේ මොදවනටත් තවමත් ඉදිරියෙන් සිටින දිලාන් සෙනවිරත්නට ඉතාමත්ම දැඩි පීඩනයක් එල්ල කරනවා සුහේර්. නමුත් විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ ඒ අවස්ථාවේදී අවස්ථාවල් ලැබෙනවා. මම හිතන්නේ සුහේර් තමගේ ඉදිරිය ලබා ගත්තා. ඒ අනුව නෑ, නමුත් තවමත් දිලාන් සෙනවිරත්න ඉදිරියෙන් සිටින්නේ ඉතාමත් තියුණු තත්ත්වයක් ඇති වී තිබෙනවා.
I think that was under braking. Suhair got on the right side of Dilan Senaviratne, but Dilan Senaviratne, I think what happened was Suhair had a faster entry into the corner, but a perfect exit by Dilan Senaviratne. This is what happens. You don't just enter a corner hard, because you got to think of your exit out. But Suhair, let's face it, he was trying everything to get past Senaviratne. Senaviratne didn't have anything of that. I think that's exactly what Dilan would have expected Suhair to do. Dilan just kept on the inside of that corner. The racing line is outside, but he kept on the inside, because Suhair, if he had to go here, he just couldn't do it. Oh, yes, they touch. Yes, they are touched. Oh, cow. Oh my God. This is what happened. Last lap, they touched. Nadira Janasena has got in front. This is what we predicted at the start. You stay back, just see what the leaders do. And that's a perfect finish that Nadira is going to have. Sajar and I'm sure Dilan are going to have a few words after the race.
මම හිතන්නේ මේ ඉතාමත් අවාසනාවන්ත සිදුවීමක්ද කියලා. මේක අවසාන මොහොත දක්වාම මේ දෙදෙනා අතර ඉතාමත් දැඩි පීඩනයක් සහිත හොඳ තරගයක් තිබුණා. නමුත් අවසානයේදී අවසාන පුංචි වැරද්දකින් දෙදෙනාටම ඒ ස්ථානය අහිමි වී මේ අනුව දැන් ඔබට දකින්නට පුළුවන් මේ කාගේ රථයේද? බොහෝ විට සුහර්ගේ රථය වෙන්නට ඕන. රතු කණ්ණාඩි වලින් හඳුනාගත්තේ.
Ratu Kannadi Suhair, Kola Kannadi Dilan. Like what we said, and these what they both of them wouldn't have ever expected to happen, and it happened. So Nadira Janasena was a very wise drive by him. He just was watching what was happening in front.
ඔව් මේ අනුව නදීර ජනසේනට දැන් අවස්ථාව ලැබී තිබෙන්නේ. මෙයා අවසාන වටේදී ඔහුට අවස්ථාව ලැබෙනවා යනෝ ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්නට. බොහෝ විට මේ ඔබ දකින්නේ සුහෙල්ගේ රථය.
So I think what we are going to see is who's that? I think that's Sheran Fernand. Is Irfan Fuad, is it? Yes, he's also going round. We saw him yesterday with the Dicky Open, which he did not notice till almost 3/4 of timing distance was over. So we are in the last lap now. Where do we see the leaders? Let's hope our cameras can get on to the leaders. Yellow flag being waved, warning the drivers that Sajjad Suwair's car is virtually a little out of the racing line in the barriers in front of, I think, the Laksala complex.
කිසිතත් නදීර ජිනසේන යන නදීර ජිනසේන ප්‍රථම ස්ථානයේ මේ වන විට දහවනේ කරන්නේ මේ ඔබ දකින්නේ නදීර ජිනසේන දැන් දිලාන් සෙනවිරත්න තමන්ට ප්‍රේක්ෂකයන්ට ආචාර කරමින් යනවා.
අපි මම හිතන්නේ කලින් කිව්වා වගේ මේ පිටපස්ස අපි ඩිලන් දකින්නේ මේ 1600 දාට තත්ත්වයේ කාර්යාලවනවා මම හිතන්නේ අන්තිම සැරේට
මේ ඔහුගේ අවසාන තරගයයි
සජාද් සුවර් කාර් එකෙන් බැලලා දැන් පයින් යනවා පිච්චට. පොඩක් කල්පනා කරනවා ඇති මොකද මම කරගත්තේ.
කාගේද වැරද්ද කියන එක දිලාන් සෙනවිරත්නද නැත්නම් සුවර්ද වැරදි?
ඒක අපි ස්ටුවර්ට්ස්ලට බාර දෙමු.
කෙසේ වෙතත් මෙවැනි
අපි දැක්කේ මෙතන මේ ටීවී ස්ක්‍රීන් එකේ විතරයි මේ මම හිතන්නේ මේ මොන වුණත් නදීර ජිනසේන පළවෙනි ස්ථානය.
ඔහු තුන්වෙනි ස්ථානයේ තරගයේ ආරම්භයේ සිටම තමන්ගේ ඉදිරියෙන් ධාවනය කරන තරගකරුවන් දෙදෙනා පිළිබඳව දැඩි අවධානයකින් යුතුව සිටියා. ඔහුට ලැබුණු පුංචිම අවස්ථාවෙන් ඔහු ප්‍රයෝජන ගනිමින් ඉතාමත් මැනවින් උපක්‍රමශීලීව මේ අවස්ථාවෙන් ප්‍රයෝජන ගත් ආකාරය තුවයි දක්වන්න ලැබුණා.
අන්තිම රවුමේ ඒක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ කොඩිය දකින්නකන් රේස් එකක් ඉවර නෑ.
විශේෂම කොටු කොඩිය දකින්නතුරු අවසන් නෑ තරගය.
இரண்டாவது போட்டி இப்பொழுது முடிவாடும் தருவாயிலே இருக்கிறது. 1600 சிசி வேகம் கொண்ட கொள்ளளவு கொண்ட கார் பந்தய போட்டி இப்பொழுது இடம்பெற்று 10வது சுற்று முடிவடைந்த நிலையிலே, அதாவது முதலாவது இடத்தை டிலான் செனவிரத்னம், இரண்டாவது இடத்தை சஜாத் சுஹைரும் பெற்ற நிலையில் மூன்றாவது இடத்தில் வந்தவர் நதீர ஜினசேன. ஆனால் 10வது சுற்றுவட்டத்திலே அதாவது அதிர்ஷ்டம் என்பது முக்கியமான ஒன்று. அதிர்ஷ்டத்தை பொறுத்தவரையிலே கமல் தேசப்பிரிய அவர்கள் சொன்னதை போல ஒரு சிறிய ஒரு தவறுதலாக இரண்டு பேருமே நிகழ்ச்சி அதாவது போட்டியிலிருந்து நீக்கப்பட்ட நிலையிலே இப்பொழுது, அதாவது குறிப்பாக சொல்ல போனால் சஜாத் சுஹைர் போட்டியிலிருந்து நீக்கப்பட்ட நிலையிலே டிலான் செனவிரத்ன போட்டியிலே பங்கு பெற்ற நிலையில், என்றாலும் மூன்றாவது இடத்துக்கு வருகை தந்த நதீர ஜினசேன முதலாவது இடத்தை பெற்றுக்கொள்கிறார் என்பது ஒரு முக்கியமான விடயம். போட்டியின் கடைசி தருவாய் வரையும் என்ன நடக்கிறது என்பது ஒரு முக்கியமான மந்திரமாக இருப்பது மகிழ்ச்சிகரமான ஒரு விடயமாக இருக்கிறது. தொடர்ந்து வர்ணனை வழங்குவதற்காக நண்பர் கமல் தேசப்பிரிய.
නන්රේ මේ තවමත් අපිට නිල වශයෙන් නැති වුණත් දැනට තිබෙන ප්‍රතිඵල නදීර ජිනසේන පළමු ස්ථානයේ, දෙවන ස්ථානයේ දමිත් වීරසිංහ, තුන්වන ස්ථානයේ ඩෙලාන් සෙනවිරත්න, ඒකම ජනක ඩයස් හතරවෙනි ස්ථානයේ සහ එස්.ඒ. හර්ෂ පස්වන ස්ථානයේ. මේ අනුව ඩෙලාන් සෙනවිරත්න මුලින්ම හිටියා වුණත් අවසාන තරඟ වටය දක්වාම අවසන් මොහොතේදී අවාසනාවන්ත ලෙස සජාද් සුහර් සමගම